Wow, an honor to be here, Abraham. Phew, I didn't really prepare a question, but I do have one. I have my own Abraham.
Do you think it was inspired?
Oh, yes. So I have my own Abraham. I call it Pigeon. And it's been an interesting ride with them because they've been guiding me through life. And things aren't physically working out fine right now. So the messages I'm getting from them is lighten up, bitch, relax, let it go, surrender. But
sort of like what we just said just now.
Yes, exactly.
Get out.
So I've also been blessed to see the other side many times, and so the words that you say about the broken experience.
When you see the other side, what do you see?
Infinite peace, infinite ecstasy. That's what I see.
So it's that end of that emotional scale that we were talking about.
Yes.
You don't see anybody worrying about anything?
No.
Nobody's chastising you
Depends
for your
on
failings?
There's many other sides. There's what I would, in my reality, and there's dimensions where there's more stuff like we have going on here. But in the ultimate place that I've experienced, that infinite peace and ecstasy was quite enjoyable. And the communication that I had there, the unconditional love that everybody seems to be sharing with one another, was quite overwhelming and whoa.
Well, the reason that we ask you is because we like it when you tap into that, and it's difficult through your physical format to put words to it, because it is a state of beingness that you are translating into a sort of state of doingness. But as we ask you, what is it that you see? You described it in emotional terms, in the state of beingness that it really is. That's an important thing to understand. It sort of fits right in with what we were talking about.
Exactly.
So what can we do for you today?
I seem to be fighting with my pigeon, and so they told me yesterday, go see Abraham. And I may have threatened to join them on the other side, because right now it seems to be hard for me.
Well, it'll be better then, for sure, because you'll leave behind all the stuff that you're pushing against. But so let's just get right to this in some, we don't want to use the word tangible so much, in some emotional, vibrational, moving way. So just listen to us for a little bit here, and you're going to recognize a lot of things that you know, but we're going to express them in a sort of deliberate pattern, because we want to start with what you know and then move more into what other things that you know that you've been sort of resisting knowing. This is true for all of you. In other words, there are a lot of things that you know, but there are a lot of things, even Esther sometimes, as she has so many really tuned in, tapped in, turned on people around her. And nothing is more infuriating than when she gets Abraham back from one of them. Of all the people in the world who should know this, it should be me. So there's a sort of tension when you're not standing in the place that you want to be. You sort of don't want to hear it. That's why your contact is not sending you away, and certainly not giving up on you. But it's sort of an obvious thing, isn't it? And this is what you're speaking loudly and clearly more than anything else, is that if I want something and I can't feel myself moving toward it, then a different approach is implied. In other words, if I just keep doing what I've been doing and keep feeling like I've been feeling, then nothing's shifting. So what can I do to feel differently? So here's the conversation that we want to have with you. There isn't anything that you're supposed to be doing that you're not doing. And you have plenty of time to figure it out, so there really is no rush. And you're much harder on yourself than you deserve to be. But then that's not something that we can take away from you. This is just something that you've practiced and that you have to decide about. There are not a lot of people, well, there are right now, but on a normal day, there are not a lot of people that are looking at you and listening intently to what you're doing or what you're living in relationship to what you want. What happens to those like you who have tasted the Ecstasy is an overused word. We like it a lot, but let's see if we can find it. Tasted the deliciousness of alignment. With those like you have tasted the deliciousness of alignment. When you're not in alignment, you're harder on yourself than everybody else. Because, and that translates into, I'm doing something wrong, I should be doing something different, I should be smarter than this, I should be doing something better. And no matter how often we say to you, you have to soothe yourself into that, or no matter how often this non-physical energy that you have access to offers soothing, if you're not in the mood to be soothed, then you're not soothed. You got to be in the mood to be soothed, you see. And sometimes you have to reach a place where you're so really not in the place that you want to be, that the new decision to want to be soothed becomes the predominant decision, you see. You just have to decide nothing else matters more than this. You are a translator of energy, and yet you are way more action-oriented than is good for you. You're taking way more score. We're just telling you like they want to tell you because we have your attention. You're taking way more score of what's going on around you. It's sort of like, I have this thought, I'm a spiritual being, I've tuned in, why isn't it working out? And we say, that's why. That's why. It's the why isn't it working out question that holds you in that steady vibration that doesn't let it work out. So you got to stop asking the question, what am I doing wrong? Let that question never be asked again. You're not doing anything wrong. You got to stop asking the question, why isn't it going better? Why don't I hear more clearly? Why don't I behave more appropriately? Why don't I do what I know how to do? That's the thing that Esther quite often says. Why don't I do what I know how to do? And we say, because you're alive and you're in a body and you're human and there's stuff around you and there's some stuff you look at that you don't want to see. And when you look at stuff that you don't want to see, you feel bad. And when you feel bad, you're not in alignment with who you are. And then if that's the moment that you take the picture, do you do that? Do you walk around with your friends, with your kids? You say, ooh, they're in a bad mood. Get the camera. Her hair's never looked worse. Get the camera. This is the worst day of their life. Call the videographers. Let's capture it on tape. You don't do that. You try to capture the best moments, you see, and yet you're hard on yourself. And that's what often happens to those like you who have access to infinite intelligence. You keep wanting to ask infinite intelligence how you can be infinite intelligence or how you can be more. And it's that sort of, we're giving it to you in a stronger way, maybe even that, no, not really, than you deserve. You're just too hard on yourself. It's just that simple. You're too hard of yourself. And you know what else? You're making too much of this alignment, of this connection, because everybody's got one. Everybody's got it. Everyone is an extension of source energy. And source energy is there for you at all times. You just got to, as this energy is saying to you, just got to chill out. Just got to ease up.
And at the time, be more compassionate towards yourself.
So let's talk about compassion, because that is the trickiest word on your planet. Compassion. Most people misunderstand it altogether. Empathy, not compassion. Empathy is focusing on a situation where there's a vibration going on and focusing there long enough that the situation trains my vibration to the same frequency. So if you have empathy with joy, that's a really good thing. If you have empathy with success, with abundance, with well-being, that's a really good thing. But if you have empathy with someone in a hard place or someone who's sick or someone who's suffering, not good for you. Compassion, very different. Compassion is aligning, say it again, having empathy with the source within you and then looking at the situation. So you take your alignment into the situation. Compassion is finding the highest frequency and then looking, and you changing the vibration of what you are giving your attention to, because you've taken the time to tune to the source energy first.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Let's leave it right there.
Okay. Thank you
really
very
good.
much.
Yes, indeed.